Alright, gonna take a look at a gold 1 Echo VOD from Assorted Llama, it's on Ilios, and just had some notes about struggling with the Fire Mercy. Not sure how I can deal with them without them killing the whole team. Yes, my aim is a bit off, but I'm sure there's other reasons. Okay, sounds good. We'll take a look at this VOD. Just off the bat, looking at the team comp, you're only gonna get healing support from your Ana. Hog is just not a very strong tank at the moment, so he could get forced out really quickly, which could mean you're not playing with a lot of space. And if you don't have a lot of space, your Ana may not even necessarily be able to get LOS on you. Slash might be peeling off this Hog because Lucio doesn't provide a lot of assistance in that regard. So you might be more reliant on minis, but the good news is that there's one on the coast side, and then there's one either side here, and then there's one there as well. Lots of health packs on the map. Not so much megas next to the point, but still stuff we can play around. A lot of natural cover too. Hanzo's not really threatening, but Alari is threatening to get a little bit of poke damage on us and then make us one-shottable for the pharmacy, so want to be careful of that. And the way we manage that is by making sure we're only taking a duel with these two. And we do that by playing around this natural cover, and we do it by playing around this natural cover in front of you. So playing in positions here, playing in positions here. If you rotate, I'll just get a better view really quick. If we're looking at this map from above, if we're never... Ideally, I think you want to be playing around here. So if you're playing here, you can have easy LOS onto people who play onto the point, and then you have a good rotation option to the people playing in these zones if you want to, while still having all this natural cover in the middle and an easy way to get out if you have flight. Flight is as much a disengage tool well, maybe not as much, but it's still a disengage tool as well as an engage tool. It can be used to get out if there's no hurry to get in. Common mistake we see a lot with Echoes is thinking that when they have flight and during the duration of the flight cooldown, they think they're invincible and they don't position around natural cover. So like sitting somewhere on cage, again, gives you LOS to these people, but then you can either walk underneath or fly over the top to get onto here / play here, because this offers nice cover here as well as just using the high ground as cover to control LOS of the main stacks that play around here, but Pharah may also be playing in these spaces, in which case we want to make sure that we're positioning in ways that we're not getting targeted by their main stack as well. But enough macro or like game sense stuff. That's just how I'm seeing it from the get-go. If your aim's an issue, we'll see. It could be a matter of just getting up close and personal. I'll just turn my game volume down because I'm realizing that's quite loud. But it could be a case of not getting close enough to our targets. Not a bad city usage. Didn't really get him low enough that I thought the beam was going to work out, but regardless, it still almost did. Good kill on the Pharah though. Probably could have just headshot and melee her. She'll probably, yeah, she does get the res off now. You do a lot of damage with your primary if you can land all 3 projectiles, and they have a tighter spread when you're up close. So I really want to see you in the Pharah matchup. It's not, or Far Mercy, it's not always about targeting the Mercy first, because your beam ability allows you to essentially, if you get more than like 3 stickies on this Pharah, to just be able to hold beam on it and probably outdamage the Mercy seals, right? It's like a crazy number, crazy high number. It's like 120 damage per second or something like that. Could be even higher. But the way we can make sure that we're doing this and also not risking ourselves getting killed first is by staying above her, because it's a lot harder for her to hit her shots if she's below you than it is if you're below her. She's used to shooting people below her. She's a Pharah. A lot harder to hit shots when you're aiming above. That goes for anyone. But just good to note whenever you're dueling a Pharah in the skies. So you can see this is what I was talking about. Hog is not able to maintain space very well, especially not against such heavy poke. So your Ana's having to play in really bad positions. you may have to rely on the health packs a bit more. It's fine to do it now because you're taking out the Pharaoh, but they're probably, yeah, they're about to be back now. And you can play in your Ana's LOS while still getting value. You can be sitting here and just throwing out damage. And if they look at you, then you kite, just because you don't even want to risk getting killed. But we can still be doing something. Similarly, you'll also get a lot of value for your team out if you can constantly break Ilari's pylon. That's going to do a heap of work for your team. And this is where it may be beneficial for you to wrap around and play around here, because they're favoring this side so much. And I think there's a lot more natural cover here, and you're harder to deal with than where you currently are. Where you currently are, you're constantly battling being an LOS of your team while trying to get LOS of theirs, and they have a lot of natural cover to just cut LOS of you. It's making it really difficult to have consistent value. We're looking for the Farah. Miss a couple shots, that happens. I don't know about the copy on the Mercy, but who knows, maybe the damage boost to Sana, she can get the job done. They're actually charging ult really quickly, but I still don't know if that's worth. I get it might have been a panic thing, so won't worry about it too much. Your sense seems really high, but weirdly enough, only when you're doing primary fire, it seems like you're pretty steady with your sticky aim, but the second you have to shoot your primary, you start doing these crazy flicks that seem like they're overshooting, which is often to do with higher sense. I think you can get more up close and personal with your shots and make your life easier, make the shots easier to hit. That was a lot of stickies. And the Mercy's like outmaneuvering you right now, right? So this is where it can be just good to constantly pressure the Pharah by targeting her rather than trying to kill the Mercy. Especially because in moments like that, if we had landed our stickies just then, when the Mercy's like not even like already locked onto her, your beam would 100% out damage her heals. And this is what I mean as well when we're talking about Echoes feeling like they're invulnerable. I know they don't have a lot of threats to you right now, but a good Illari will be able to double dink you in this moment. Even a Hanzo with Storm Arrows, or a Sig just throwing like 2 AoEs just to contribute. So always a good idea to still play around or close to natural cover. Because you can imagine, and I don't know if she's even looking at you, she's not really. If I'm looking at you from this position and I get a headshot as Illari, that's like 125 damage or something. It's going to make it really obvious where I need to place my crosshair, because you're going to be dropping at a pretty consistent pace. You're going to have a pretty obvious travel arc to your like supports or your closest bit of cover being down here. So if I'm the Illari and I hit one shot, I know that I just have to aim in like this box, and I can just do a micro adjustment depending on which way you head, and get a body shot and kill you. So always good practice to not just assume that you're invulnerable just because you're in the sky and you do have some unusual movement, not exactly like really evasive movement. We'll skip ahead a little bit. Right now what we're looking at is cover usage and maybe closing our distance a little quicker. If you feel like you're just straight up not denying this Pharah, then like change it up too. Like I said before, breaking Illari turret, constantly pressuring Illari to play in worse positions, occupying the Hanzo's attention, forcing Sig to use cooldowns like Grasp and use Shield to block some of your poke damage. It's all good, and these are things that you can do in your downtime as well. Where it's surrounding like Hanzo and Sig. If you're ever just forced out by Pharah, or you don't have the opportunity to go as aggressive onto the Illari, then these are other options that you can take. But if you're just straight up losing the pharmacy duel, you know, you can poke her out, put pressure on her, but still be, you know, playing in these sorts of positions, like here and over here, and be pressuring her, but be actually looking for the Illari. Because if you can take her out, then the whole team is going to be relying on Mercy for healing, and that's going to take away the Pharah's pocket. So there is other ways to deal with a pharmacy indirectly. You know, and if the Mercy is constantly going and having to support other people, then maybe that opens up an easier opportunity for you to then go kill the Pharah and take a 1v1. Looking for the Mercy. Yeah, you're like still quite far away when trying to land these stickies, right? I think it's like there. That's still ages away, right? That's still like 10-15 meters of a really mobile hero trying to hit a projectile, or 5 projectiles. It's hard to do, right? She just rapidly drops and not a single sticky hits. So try and get up close and personal. Instead of chasing to where she's going, cut off where she needs to go to next. So I'll just rewind it again. I won't stay on this for too long. But she's over there right now, yes. But if you just sit on her target, she has to stay there and doesn't have GA as a sort of movement ability besides like GAing and then spacing even further away. So it's similar to when you play Monkey and you're trying to like pressure mobile targets, is that you got to be really careful not to use your jump or use your mobility too soon, because they have it on a shorter cooldown than you and they'll just be able to outmaneuver you. So this is why I say you can go for the Pharah, because if you turn and look at the Pharah right now, this is very easy to hit a lot of stickies on, right? You're like so close to her, and that can be scary for you because it's easier for her to hit a shot, but not when you've played like this and she's not even expecting you. So yeah, just think about that. The Mercy has to either stop pocketing the Pharah or come back towards you, which can open up opportunities as well. Do we have stickies? Not quite. Oh, this would have been a good opportunity for stickies. That's unfortunate. Just missed the mark a little bit. And he got below her again, right? You can see there's a common theme. When you get below a Pharah, it just makes the job really easy. I know it's hard, obviously. She can stay in the air a lot longer than you. But this is why playing the high grounds is so important, because you give yourself a little bit of extra height to then use glide. And using the slingshot tech to, like, when you use glide and then quickly cancel it, to just fling yourself up into the air rather than fly around. You can also abuse these little high grounds as a launch spot to stay higher than her for as long as you can.
How can I adjust? Defend our objective.
You can do it. You can do the slingshot tech by like quickly canceling it. But there's also, you can also go into the controls and change it to press to hold rather than toggle. And so you just press shift and that'll launch you, because it'll be press to hold. You'll be holding it and then you'll let go of it in a second. It'll use all the initial movement speed that you get from the start of glide or flight, whatever it's called. Nice kill on the Mercy, but again, out of cover because we're in flight mode, and then we get punished because now they're swapped to a hit scan. So it's getting harder and harder, right? We'll take a look at one more fight here. Yeah, see now the Alara is looking for you. Now we're really relying on health packs as well, unless our Alara is going to help us out with a good pylon placement. But I wouldn't bank on it. Looking for a copy as well. And I think a good copy in this situation, if you're not using copy as a way to go hyper aggressive right now and copy to save yourself, and then like take a duel by like copying a DPS or copying a Lari, then I think a really good play would be to copy the Sigma and then occupy an off angle and take some space, and it'll just let your hog actually walk up, give your Alari some space, and just deny an off angle for their DPS. That's unfortunate.
This time I haven't. Rendezvous at my position.
Team staggers out a bit. We got one more fight.
Taking flight.
Oh, that's just a really good direct. Unfortunate, but if I look at that again, that Alari shot made you one-shottable to the Pharaoh. So there you go. It did come back to bite you. You really got to be good with cover usage, because they will just punish you. And that, like, as you get higher up, they will get obviously mechanically better and just more aware that you are in the air and you're vulnerable.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You just need to stall. But yeah, I'm trying to make these a bit quicker, so I hope there's enough there for you. I think there is, in terms of just thinking about cover usage during flight, thinking about your duties, thinking about alternate ways to get around pharmacy specifically, as well as a couple of tips like staying above her. And then alt usage, obviously, a little thing at the end, just either using it as a free get out of jail card to copy someone and get a lot of HP / even confirm a kill, or copying a tank. And some tanks are better than others. Obviously, Hog is a bit dicey, but Sigma is obviously super sustainable and has long range pokes, so he's a surefire bet. You can just take an off angle and absorb a lot of pressure for your team to let them walk. But yeah, and get closer to your targets. I think your aim is suffering a bit from that. Your sensitivity seems a little high, but it's about whatever you're comfortable with. So if you're comfortable with that, then just try and position in ways where you can utilize cover more and close the distance to your targets to make it real assassination style and make your stickies easy to hit, because they're the essence of your kit and your whole combo to get that glass cannon play style working well. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and all the best with the games.